Hey guys, it's Harleywood. So we're a couple weeks into deer season, and I have a cabin down on 1,000 acres in middle Georgia. I have been 3 weekends now, and my most recent trip was 10 days. Now, we do not have dedicated power down there. You have to either bring a generator or have some other power source. But I took this Goal Zero 250 down there to act as kind of my light in my cabin. And I'm going to roll in a little bit of footage of some of the uses that I had for it down there. This thing is extremely versatile. I'm actually very impressed with it. In fact, this is going to be going in my camp bag, so every time I go down there, this will be with me. Let's roll in some footage, and then we'll come back to the table and finish it out with some specs and final thoughts. Alright, so as you can see, there are a lot of different uses for this. Primarily though, I will say I used it just as a lamp in my cabin. Obviously some of that other stuff was somewhat staged for the video, however, it is completely realistic. I mean, there's a couple times where I grabbed this because my flashlight was either out in my truck or it was down in a bag that I had thrown in my camo box. And so this was just easily accessible. I grabbed it in order to look inside some cabinets and find something that I was looking for. Very, very versatile. There are 3 different ways to charge this. You can either charge it by plugging it into a wall with the USB cord here. You can charge it with the hand crank on the side here. Or you can set it out in the sun and have the sun do the charging for you and let it charge via the solar panel on the front. So this is kind of a good emergency solution also. Again, if you were to charge this up, let's say you're at home, charged it up with the USB here, even if you had it in your car for several months and an emergency happened and you went to have to need this, but the battery was dead, you would have the ability to charge it with either the crank handle or the solar panel. Now, obviously, both of those are going to take some time to get you power, but it's better than nothing. Now, on the bottom here, you have your buttons to engage the different lights that it has. I'll show you those lights in a minute. There's also a USB plug. If you wanted to use the internal battery on this to, say, charge your cell phone, you can plug your cell phone in right here, and this internal battery will then charge your cell phone. So there are 3 different lights on here. On the front here are a series of LED lights. There's a floodlight in the middle here, and then there's red lights on the outside. Let's show you some of these. First, we're going to do the spotlight. Try not to shine it into the camera. You hit it once to go full power, hit it again, it dims down, hit it a third time, it goes off. The red lights, you hit it a first time just to get red, a second time is an emergency flasher, and then the flood You hit it once to get full brightness, hit it again, it goes a little bit dimmer, hit it again to go off. Honestly, that's the one that I use the most. Now, it's very, very handy because there's these two clips here, and as you saw in some of that footage, there were many times where I would have this hanging in the cabin, and I would turn on the floodlight and just let it wash the room in light. Very, very useful. Alright, some of the run times. The spotlight will run for 15 hours on low and 7 hours on high. The floodlight will run for 48 hours on low and 22 hours on high. And the hand crank at 120 RPMs will give you 2 minutes of light for every 1 minute of crank time. That's pretty good. So again, even if this thing did run out and you needed light, you crank it for 1 minute at 120 RPM, which is not hard to do, and you'll get a solid 2 minutes of light. So the power ratings. The LED is 250 lumens, the spotlight has a max of 180 lumens, and the floodlight is 70 lumens. So you are able to stand this up on its base, and I think in some of the footage you've seen there, when I was putting my boots on, I actually stood this up on the floor and was able to light up, the little room that I was in. The only thing that I don't like about this, and this is very minor, if you notice on the top here, this is slightly angled, whereas the bottom is flat. So you cannot stand it up on this side. It falls forward on you. There may be some reason that they did that. I would have liked to have been able to stand it up either way, because if you stand it up on the base, you can't get the buttons. If you stand it up this way, you can get the buttons, but you can't use the lights on the bottom. So again, there's a trade-off. That's the only criticism I would levy to this, is that I wish this had been a flat face here so that you could stand it up on that end if you wish. So the price on this at the time of filming this video is $80. Seems like a lot, but if you think about it in comparison, I have flashlights that cost more than $80. So considering this is a little more versatile than a flashlight is, I think it's a perfectly acceptable price point for this. Makes it very, very nice that you can throw this in the bed of your truck, trunk of your car, or something like that, and just kind of, forget about it and know that you have a light source, especially with the ability to charge it via solar or the hand crank. You know that you'll never be left without light. I do have another product from Goal Zero that I recently bought. It's not cheap. I'm going to be using it out for a few weeks. It's called the Yeti 400. If you want to go look at that, they call it a generator. It's actually just a power bank and stores 400 watt hours, I believe, of power. And I'm going to, like I said, test that out over the remainder of the hunting season and get back with you on it. So again, this is the Torch 250 from Goal Zero. If you like what you saw, please hit that subscribe button below. Lots more videos to come. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.